claim, and I use that word loosely, you claim to be a hunter.
Do you want me to show proof?
Let me finish. You claim to be a hunter, yet you've admitted you would offer minors sanitary products. Can you not see the hypocrisy in that?
I can.
You also have in your public bio on Discord that it's 18 plus only unless you need help. Please tell me, with the amount of struggles that you have, you're not content with yourself, you're not diagnosed with gender dysphoria, you've not gone through any of the process other than maybe getting on the waiting list for, your diagnoses, but you have no experience to give these minors. So why on earth would they be coming to you for advice? But you have no reason to engage with minors. You're not knowledgeable on anything. You're not, a health professional. You're nothing. You should not be engaging with minors as an adult. It's really weird. And the fact that in your actual bio publicly, you have only DM if you're 18 plus or if you need help, which insinuates it's okay. And then you said on a server about how you don't talk to minors for your safety. What are you doing? Like, why don't you trust yourself to engage with minors for safety purposes? That's a strange thing to say.
Because
you don't engage with minors for your safety, but again, going back to you're offering minors sanitary products.
Could you at least let me respond to Courtney's first prompt?
That's first. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so reason why I don't like to respond to minors or talk to them is because of the allegations what go around with it. That is the main one. That's why I don't feel safe talking to minors.
Don't talk to minors then. Oh, that's me. Shit.
Not then.
Hello?
Is it a bloody mug, wait?
Stop. Oh, it's your dog. That's for mine. For the funny.
Oh, he's gorgeous.
I don't have anyway. I'm not ugly, so.
Oh, look at your face.
Look, that's a naughty one.
Next, Skyler, do you want to answer the questions?
Yeah. So as I stated, I don't like talking to them, just because of the allegations what usually go around. I don't make a habit of talking to them. I've had to block people who are like, oh, hey, they DM me, and I was like, how old are you? And they're like, oh, I'm like 17, or they're like 15 or 13. I say, do you need help? They say no. I just block immediately.
That's the minimum, Skyler. Why are you trying to act like a saviour for that? That's what you should be doing as a grown-up.
What? What did you say then?
Oh, he's a cane corso. I said, why would you even, want to engage with minors or whatever you just said? Like, that's the bad minute. You're not a saviour to blocking minors. So, congratulations.
We all not kind of getting the point. He's just said he doesn't want to talk to minors for safety. He doesn't want to engage in minors. He's claimed to be a hunter. Yet, can we not see the hypocrisy that he's offering minors pads, sanitary pads?
It looks like a P3 video to me.
So, Skyler, do you want to address that? Because at the minute, you're coming across as an absolute walking contradiction. In one breath, you're not talking to minors for safety, but in the next breath, you're happy to offer them sanitary products in the women's toilets.
Women don't do that, right? I mean, if a woman needs something, she would ask.
Into this debate.
You're literally a walking contradiction. How can you say?
Okay, at least let me respond.
Wait, 1 second.
Okay, am I okay to respond to my own call out?
No, I feel like you need to come with some proof. Like, come with some proof of this P3DO hunter vibes. Come with some proof that it was disproved. You need to do something at this point, because the amount of people that come up, I only put this thing up because of what you did today, trying to expose what I said, which isn't bad. I just told someone to unalive themselves. I don't give a fuck. Prosecute me. But
they have a lot of mental disorders, right? And you said you would fund their next community side of that.
But I don't care. I will say what I want. Like, it's as easy as that. I'm not doing anything. I'm not engaging with minors.
Bonnie, I know you have BPD, so I'm going to give you grace.
I don't have BPD.
Why would you give her grace?
I'm going to give her grace.
I also take accountability. I know what I said was crazy, but I still stand by it.
Fact.
I'm going to give a grace on that aspect, but at the same time, Courtney,
I don't need your grace, Skyler. You're a P3. We just need you to prove that you're not. Like, this isn't about me. Prove that you're not a P3. Go ahead. Because it wasn't even a P3 call out. It was just to say that you're a weirdo. But a lot of people actually came in and was like, yeah, he's a P3, so yeah.
a lot of people, have they provided you receipts for that?
No one's provided anything.
Okay, so you're going on hearsay.
Yeah. There's actual messages. We don't buy hearsay, and there's actual messages to back up the hearsay. So.
Okay, so now I'm going to give you a little bit of context. Okay, so me and Echo and Delirious Eagle are on good terms currently because I'm calling out Katie for being a piece of shit right now. So that is the main reason why Echo will give these receipts over. And he will claim he didn't defend me during that. So what I said during that messaging cycle was blah, 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 blah. I already explained it. That be careful of who you DM. Then me and Echo and Elijah, I was on Elijah's panel. Echo came up. Echo was sent the entire DM. Echo was sent a video recording of the DM. And he was like, hey.
Oh, Echo goes by they, them, doesn't he?
Oh, yeah, shit, yeah.
That's not very ally of you, Skyler.
At least let
Of
me.
these communities.
So I passed them all of the receipts and everything. And they were like, hey, yeah, this looks bad. Could you provide a little bit more context? So I provided that I used to hunt a gang called 764 LNLM, and they looked him up, and they saw
they didn't hunt you, Skyler.
And they saw they were terror groups and massive rings of groups.
Oh, so you're a racist as well. You're going after Muslims.
No, what? Who the fuck said that?
That's what you're implying with your terror groups, aren't you?
Terror groups doesn't only mean Muslims.
Oh, brown people too.
Yeah, no, that doesn't mean Muslim. Terror groups, there's a lot of white terror groups. You do know that, right?
You should, when the media does this thing and they confuse everything and they, don't use the correct terminology of what they mean and people make assumptions off the media, this is why you should have said either it's a whitey terror group, Christian. You need to be...
So you're going off the stereotype, so you're racist. You've just exposed yourself as being racist.
No, she's giving an example.
No, she's going off a stereotype.
So I'm saying the media puts out narratives and we all cry about them, but you saying terror groups, that is what everyone is going to straight away presume because of the media. So again, if you want to be against and be an ally or whatever, you need to put out what you mean so that they're not...
It was a YT terror group, sorry, and there was a bunch of them. This group had a lot of people, and Echo said to me, hey, yeah, you probably shouldn't have continued the conversation. I said, yes, I agree with that. I was around 18 to 17 at that point in time. And Echo was like, yeah, okay, that's understandable. You're still young. Skyler, you're 19 now, and you're approaching 20. Well, I'm approaching 20 now. So that's understandable. I took accountability for prolonging the conversation a little bit. But at the same time, Echo said what you did wasn't morally wrong at all at the start, but then it kind of crept morally wrong when you kept that conversation going on.
Why have you been giving minors advice on helping with their transition when you're not knowledgeable about it? That's just an excuse for you to talk to minors.
I am very knowledgeable about it. Give me a question.
It's not about,
I'm still waiting for an answer for the question I asked 15 minutes ago.
What was your answer? Research.
What?
What was your question?
How can you claim to be a hunter, yet you offer children as young as 11 sanitary products?
If I was in a woman's bathroom and someone said, hey, does anyone have a period product, I'd throw it under the door. I wouldn't just go...
Why are you period products? Why are you in women's bathrooms?
That's a strange one, guys.
Hang on, so you're standing, right, just one minute. You're standing by that statement, correct?
Yeah.
Right, you are a liar because only 2 weeks ago you backtracked on that in Envy's Live and said you rethought about it and realised you'd said something wrong. So you're nothing but a walking contradiction, Skyler.
That's creepy as fuck.
This person is entering women's spaces and saying they're a woman, but do not have gender dysphoria. You don't have
as a
gender
trans person,
dysphoria.
bro, you like literally you're so damaging. You're causing so much damage right now.
Okay, sure.
So, Scarlett, you don't have gender dysphoria. You don't have a diagnosis for anything.
Yes, I don't.
You're not medicalised. You're not on HRT. You've not had any surgery. And you're a furry. Like, you are an AGP. You just satisfy them as a woman.
There's nothing wrong with
You
dressing as a
admitted
woman.
that you're on the waiting list. You do not have gender dysphoria diagnosed. You are not trans. You are not on
Why are you in a rush?
Why did
What's
you,
the rush?
Skyler, lie in Envy's panel 2 weeks ago and retracted what you said about the minors, and now you just reiterated that you will stand by offering minors sanitary products?
I can't remember a lot of things.
You said in Envy's panel, when I called you out about it there, you said, well, I have thought about it, and I've changed my mind. I've thought better of it since then, is what you said. And I said, oh my God. I said, you only made the statement 8 weeks ago, and now you're standing by your original statement.
Myself before screaming at me.
Pardon?
Don't feed people's language, Skyler.
Sorry,
Can you just not see? Can you just not see how dangerous you are? You claim to be a hunter, and now you're going to offer children, well, not babies, but that is somebody's baby that you're offering a sanitary towel to.
And as well, Skyler, like,
as a male in a woman's toilet.
Yeah, like, if you don't even have gender dysphoria.
You know how private a flipping menstrual cycle is? Like, it's not something that women, like, wave around like a badge. They don't, like...
Yeah, stop.
So you're just going to make them feel uncomfortable. You're not going to make them feel safe.
Oh.
And you said only 2 minutes ago you don't engage in minors because you don't feel safe. But you have to engage with a minor to give them the sanitary.
Do you think they feel safe
Exactly.
Do you think they feel safe when a fucking fully grown man with bright white fried hair is sticking in their hand under their toilet door like, here's a tampon, babe?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, they don't.
They're going to be petrified.
And
Like,
why a tampon? Why not just a sanitary pad? Like, I don't understand.
I did say pads because tampons, they carry more heavy metals than they do in the blood.
This is the man that's given our children tampons.
Bro, you don't have a clue what you did.
Like, come on, you've got a dog collar on, for fuck's sake. Shouldn't you be going, like, pissing outside in the grass with your leg cocked up?
Oh, shit, true.
Do you know, there's nothing wrong with liking what you like, but you can't be trying to make society think it's okay.
Go cock your leg up outside and have a wee-wee like the dog that you think you are. Leave women alone. Like, listen, if you are fully transitioned, by the way, this doesn't count to you. Like, if I can't tell that you were born male, I don't give a fuck if you're in the bathroom, because personally, I don't look around and see
There's cubicles. It's not like there's urinals in the toilets. Do you know what I mean? You won't know until they walk past you and you'll be like, I'm not supposed to.
I wouldn't even care anyway, as long as you're not in here trying to pull my trousers down and hurt me. What do I give a fuck for? Just go do your business.
Or trying to like give you like free sanitary products.
Literally, like, if I asked, and a man gave me a tampon, I'd be like, you're the reason people can't buy them. Like, you're buying these tampons and now we can't find them off the shelves. Like, stop buying them.
Stop
gatekeeping the tampons.
Okay, so originally she said she carries them for her friends. Yes, I do carry them for my friends. That is the original point.
But you shouldn't be available to give your friends these fucking tampons in the women's toilet anyway.
And you're not
British, Skyler, you are British. You have no excuse to be using female spaces when you are British, and you can easily go in a disabled toilet. You have all these different disabilities. I will personally send you £4.50 to take your boy ass to Boots and buy a radar key so you can go and piss properly.
Do you know what, Skyler? If you really wanted to help females out, you could buy those products and put them in the little bins at the end of the till where it goes to the food banks.
I already do that.
You should not be carrying them, and you should not buy any stretch of the imagination, be offering or giving them to children.
That's the equivalent of standing there with a van with sweets saying, "Here, kids." That is weird, bro.
Can I say something?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, Skyler, the thing is, what you need to understand as a person who's not a female, because, you know, having sanitary products is for, you know, female things that happen to us, menstruation cycles. I find it
You're lagging now a bit.
quite sinister that you want to now engage with strangers and offer, like, why do you have something that you're not using? Hello, can you hear me?
You're cutting out a little
Hello?
bit, but you're back now.
Hello? Can you
Yeah,
hear me?
now.
Yeah, I'm saying I just find it quite sinister that you're offering children sanitation products and you don't even use it. If it was an adult human female who had it, it makes a bit more sense, but you have no reason to have it. So are you trying to engage with people in the toilet? Like, what's the process of that?
Okay. So originally, well, actually no, yeah. Still, they are for my female friends, for my women friends, because one of them has unsuspected periods, okay? That's the only reason why I have them. So when we're out and about...
Sorry. Okay, sorry.
She can carry her own tampons.
I was just about to say that if she's aware of her condition, she will have her backup needed because she don't want to be
you know
caught
what?
out.
Worst case, if a woman does start her period, we've had periods long enough to know what we can use toilet roll to pad ourselves out with until we get to a supermarket.
No,
I just
that.
carry them
Majority
in
of women's toilets literally have little things at the end where you can pop out a little tampon. There's no reason you should be carrying tampons as an
They're
excuse
not free.
for minors. Yes, they are free. You'd like acting like I'm not a woman.
Yes, they are free.
You shouldn't even know.
If you're a woman, right, you wouldn't know that because you're not a woman, Skyler. The thing is, right, you said it's for your friends, then why are you engaging with minors in the toilet and offering them sanitary towels? That's why I know it's sinister.
I haven't engaged.
Then why hasn't your mate got 50p to buy a tampon when, like, the odd occasion when you're in, like, a, you know, bathroom that does require it? Why ain't she got 50p to buy a tampon?
Because we don't usually carry cash around. Like, cash is kind of obsolete.
Well, get a job then, babe. Stop pretending
My
to be
job is
standing there, get a job.
And I just reiterated, women know that if they're ever caught short, worst case scenario, they'll just pad their knickers out with toilet roll.
They'll go to
Get it somewhere.
If you go to Bill and ask for, I think it's Angela, they'll give you free sanitary products.
Okay, so
And it's the same as all the time.
Let me address something real quick. You are speaking about most women, and you are not speaking about categorically my friends.
Skyler, my period lasted the entire month.
Courtney, listen a second. Me and my friends have a very good relationship with each other, okay? So that's why I carry them around, because they know I'm a safe person to go ask for it.
That's not true. You fetishize woman. You're an AGP, and you're storing it to carry out your fetishes. That is what it is. It is weird.
But
For one person, it is weird. That's what you were doing. You're fetishizing the menstrual cycle. That is what you were doing by carrying these products. That is what you. We're not blind. Women are really astute at picking out the really creepy men that have no good on their mind. You're part of them. You're a problem.
Coming out right now, Jesus.
You're a part of the
problem. You're a problem. You're a problem.
Majorly. Like I said, what you do is damage.
Why are you even in the women's toilets in the first place?
I only went in there once in my entire...
No, that's one time too
Nah,
many.
that's mad.
Okay, that's fair to say.
I do not consent for you to be in there, as do probably most of the women in this panel, or lied.
Yeah, no, I do think at this point, like, you can't justify any of these actions. You should not be going into women's spaces. If your friend is a grown-ass adult and they know that they have hairy periods, there's someone who still has a 9-year-old implant who bleeds for the entire month. You just know to carry that shit around with you. Like, you have pockets, you have a bag, like, you can do this. You're just a weirdo and want an excuse to go in the women's toilets when realistically, you're not trans. You call yourself a trans femme, which isn't a thing. You panel with people who believe that trans women are biological females. Like,
you don't.
Wild, you're crazy. You need to really sort your head out and go to some extreme therapy. And I'll personally pay for it because, like, stay away from our kids, bro. Stay away.
Oh, you'll pay for it? Nice. My therapy costs around like
tax dollars are already probably paying for it, so most likely.
So Vicky's just joined. I just want to reiterate to Vicky. So Skyler was up on Envy's panel a couple of weeks ago, retracted his statement of offering sanitary products to minors. He's now just admitted that yes, he would offer the sanitary products to minors. He's confirmed even now, after saying to Envy he won't do it, he's now saying yes, he will do it.
Okay.
Oh my God.
So can you pass that message on to Envy?
I've heard every time that you said it, Skyler. Why are you so...
I'm not understanding what you guys really expect then.
Okay. So I did.
Look at
disturbing.
Oh my God, Jesus Christ! Did you let me?
This is all over the UK, Skyler. This is happening all over the UK.
Why are you carrying these around? Because it seems a little bit grooming at this point that you're carrying them around just to offer them to minor women, children, girls. It's weird. That is weird.
Now we have to start telling our kids to not accept
carry their own tampons. Your friends are grown up. They can carry their own tampons. You do not need to
have them on them. I literally only.
Women know when their period is. We plan it out. We plan our days out. We plan everything out around our cycle. Why the fuck do we need a man
Skyler,
putting that in our face?
please change. Just please change.
Oh my God. I'm not going to tell you where I was, but I literally took a picture of this. It is happening, ladies. This nonsense will stop. It is happening. Look at
what's
that.
funny,
I
I'm not
literally
gonna
went
lie.
out and saw that.
Thank God.
I would have to go in.
I've taken a picture of them before, last year. In a lot of hospitals, they've got the female toilet signs.
It's just sad
I
that we
won't
have to
tell
even
you.
do that.
Wait, Skyler, come up and explain your case. I do just want to say to Ricky, like, not everyone can track their periods out. My period lasted.
I know.
Sporadic.
Mine is too, but I don't.
But your body does let you know. Your body does
I've
let
never
you
asked
know.
anyone. I've never needed a man or a woman to come up to me randomly and say, yes, I have tampons and pads. Ever.
Yeah, we just make a mitten with toilet paper and shove it up there, and then until we can get home. For God's sake, it's like a natural thing to do.
I said that.
Worrying that he said that he only doesn't engage with minors for his own safety.
Yeah, he said he would stand there and offer people.
For a bit of context, obviously when he came up in the panel, he obviously, like I say, claims to be a hunter. He stated he doesn't engage with minors because obviously he's worried for his safety. Obviously engaging with minors. He then said, I said, well, how can you contradict yourself that you claim to be a hunter, but then you offer the minors, the children, the sanitary products? And he admitted it, and he said yes. So I called him out, and I said, well, hang on. I said, was you not on MV's Live only but 2 weeks ago? Because I confronted it about you then. And I said, and you said to me then, oh, well, yeah, I didn't think, I've thought about it since then, and basically I've changed my stance. He's now gone back on his original stance, and he stands by that he would offer children minors.
Yeah, he said he would pass them under the door. I'm like, first of all, why would you be in the bathroom with them anyway, you sicko? I'm sorry, that is sick.
You know, like when the bush was still a thing?
Yeah.
When we were in that, me, Chloe, Fred, and I think Sid was there too, to be fair, and like obviously, if you guys know Flo, we were all with Skyler talking to him like calmly, nicely, because, you know, he was confused about what he was and that. So, you know what Chloe's like, she's a nasty girl. No, at this point, she was being really respectful and giving him genuine advice on how, you know, he's not trans. And by the end of it, he literally said like, oh, okay, no, I see it from that perspective, I'm a trans femme. Changed his mind and said he wasn't trans, went back to Elijah and told him, and Elijah was like, don't let them tell you what you are. You are a beautiful, strong, trans lady. And I'm just like, why are we doing this? Like, he's very confused. Like, Skyler suffers a lot mentally. So I think, like, he's out here.
I don't think so. I don't think so at all. I mean, he knows exactly what he's saying.
He's very calculated.
Exactly what he's doing. He is calculated.
I mean, like, he's a vulnerable adult and very manipulative grown up.
He might be very suggestive. No, do you know what? He might be suggestive, but he is fully aware. He's fully aware.
He speaks like, I'm telling you guys, he speaks like that because he's proud of what he's done. He's proud of what he's doing, and he's just saying it in a very, very light, very calm voice because he knows he can get away with it, and he tries to act and he'll try to waffle on it. because he gets off on like letting us know that what he's doing and the sick things he's doing. He loves that. He's getting off on it. I'm telling you, this is sick. This is calculated.
Like I said to him, he's dangerous.
And that whole fucking community is actually uplifting these types of men, and it's weird. Like we would never do this if it was a what they like to call a cis man. They would never allow this ever.
Nope, not at all. And that's what all they are. They're just men. I'm sorry, they're just men.
But I'm just saying, like they're like doing this like it's like they have a safety net around them.
Yeah, they're training people especially young people, to ignore their gut feeling, ignore what they know is to be like. Ignore the danger signs that are flashing and just go with it and just go and believe people. That is so fucking dangerous, guys.
The problem is he thinks he's doing some sort of white knight thing by trying to call out that Katie bloke. He thinks that's justifying his own bad behaviours.
I don't know. And I do think as well, like, at this point, he just needs to stop, because this whole trans thing is getting a bit over the top now with how everyone's dealing with it. And I don't know, like, he's just not a good representative, and it's doing more harm, because some trans people know they have mental disorders and, you know, they just transition to alleviate their symptoms. They then don't take up women's spaces. So, like, I don't know what it is about these crazy people, but I think we are indoctrinating kids, like the trans community are indoctrinating kids to be trans. I don't think you can choose to be gay or convince a kid to be gay in any way. But transgender, absolutely.
I agree with that statement. I think kids are very susceptible, especially with apps like this. You know what I mean? It is dangerous now. It is getting dangerous.
I'm not going to lie. When I was a kid, I was a girl. I'm not going to lie. It was just, I was a girl. I was a young lady. I was an adolescent. I was a young adult. There was no impression. There was no pressure. There was no one else doing it, or it wasn't a thing. It was just, it's something that you chose for yourself. It was your journey, just for you, not for validation from anyone else. Maybe your family, you know, because obviously they love you. If they don't, then that's them. But like, it was meant to be something that was quite intimate and private. And then all of a sudden it became this public display on who's better, who's passing. And then it was a thing where you had the cross-dressers now not being shone out, but then they were labeled, it's sad, they were labeled the weirdos and the freaks, because they knew they were men, but they just enjoyed wearing women's clothes.
Well, I think it honestly started during like the COVID period, where everyone was locked away. All the young, you know, teenagers and kids were locked away, and they were just on their phone the whole time. I mean, this really didn't have a huge reach until then, where it was being talked about a lot more.
I was on a panel the other day as well, and I said, like, in reference to, like, just everyday people who don't, you know, they're not trans, I said normal people. And so many people, like, jumped down my throat and was like, you can't say normal, you can't say this, blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, that's just say what I want.
Oh, my God.
Norm.
Just like we're doing what we want, you can say what you want. Like, I don't know why everyone's so sensitive.
I'd say exactly what I want.
Like, if you're respectful and you're not out here being a prick, I'm more than happy to respect pronouns, like, no matter what you are. So, like, obviously you're a trans man. I'm happy to call you he, him, if you know. Like, I call Chloe she, her. Like, I see pronouns as a social thing. Like, doesn't
problem, 100%. Like I've got drag queen friends, and when they're not in drag, I still call them she and her, because it doesn't matter.
Pronouns replace the nouns, guys. And that's the problem. All this started with the language.
Though, if you look, like, when I look at Chloe, or I look at Miyagi, I think that's how you say your name, like, I don't see a female in that picture with him. So my, like, natural instinct is to say he, him. And, like, the whole point of this, like, trans argument is to not be, you know, forced to use language that you don't want. So if I then have to change my language because I'm seeing a boy, but I have to think that it's male, that's changing it. So I'd rather just...
I'm trans, and it's so hard for me.
Yeah, if
it's so hard.
It's also the effort and you delusion, though. And it, like, the language is how this all started, guys. And that's and I'm not trying to tell you how to speak, right? I'm not going to try to
force you to like, you need to do this, but I just try to like encourage like that you just understand and think about the importance of the language, because it's a language that is like, it's driven a lot of this entitlement, because they think like, well, it's in the name, trans woman, so I am a woman, so I belong in these spaces. And so if we have to take back our language, that's our term.
Yeah, I understand that completely, to be fair, but at the same time, like, I just think that if you are presenting and you look this way, and that's my first thought when I see you, as long as you're not going out here and trying to, push the narrative that trans men can have men can have babies and chest feed
That's just crazy.
And tampon things, like,
we have to cut it off at the hilt, though. That's the only thing.
When they say men having babies, they're missing a very major word in there, and that's the trans men. Because once you say trans men, you know that person is biologically able to hold a child. It takes out the whole, a man having a baby, wow. Well,
it's just we have to be consistent all the way around, because if we just use it for, like, people that we like, and that maybe agree with us, and that's in a way like just more. It almost seems hateful. It seems like you're doing it just to people you like, and then it looks like you're actually disrespecting.
I don't really do it to people that I like. Mine's more of like a natural instinct kind of thing. So like, say if I don't know someone, like we were talking right now, and I didn't know if you were trans or not. I would I would just assume that by your voice and your picture that you're a girl. So I would use those pronouns with you. So like, the same way, like when I looked at Miyagi, I didn't know he was trans because, he looks like a man. He sounds very masculine. I would never have known that, they were a woman in a past life. Well, like, not in a past life, but you know what I mean? Like, still, like, I wouldn't assume that. So then I'm not going to change my language, from what I naturally see, because that's the whole point. Like, he's not out here being like, I'm a real boy. Like, you know what I mean? So I'm happy.
You go through that stage when you're starting. You're convincing yourself, I'm a real boy. Do you know what I mean? Like, but it's internalized. Do you know what I mean? It's all internalized.
You do pass.
I
always have, even when I was a female.
I've noticed though that most of the women that transition pass way better than the men trying to become.
But that's genetics.
How do you have the Adam's apple? Like, how have you developed an Adam's apple?
You don't. Some women have Adam's apple. It's just a genetic thing. I don't have an Adam's apple.
That just means that Eve was your mummy, and that's why you have it, because,
Like, it took me a while to accept and forgive the female in me, because we did a lot, mentally, we did a lot to myself. So, like, I don't know. For me, I only transitioned because I didn't want to not live my life. When I dreamed of this face. But when I was awake, it was this dainty, vulnerable, black female that I couldn't protect. Do you know what I mean? And it hurt me. It hurt me a lot. And it's funny because now as a black man, I feel so much safer in myself.
A question that's like, you don't have to answer it, but did you go through like a traumatic event before this ever happened, like before you transitioned?
No.
No?
No. My mom loves me. I'm her son. My grandma loves me. My sisters, like my family, they knew, but they were it's like they were waiting for me to know. So it's like, no, I had trauma, but it was all within myself.
Okay.
It was all within myself.
Because a lot of the time that we see women transitioning is because they've had a traumatic event. So I was just curious.
No,
I think gender
I wasn't.
dysphoria is a stress-based disorder. So, like, obviously it will be down to trauma, but then we're not out here discriminating against people with BPD or schizophrenia or any other type of disorders and denying them treatment. So, if looking a certain way and presenting more feminine or masculine is a way for them to alleviate and, stay on.
It allowed me to engage with society.
Yeah, I just don't understand the problem. As long as you're not going around saying like, oh, I'm a man and I can get pregnant, as long as you're saying that, I'm a trans man and I can have a baby.
No, a lot of trans men I know, like, as soon as we're able to scoop them eggs out, we do, because the first thing you want to get rid of is that menstrual cycle.
I might pretend to be trans for a bit, so they'll actually consider removing my fucking ovaries or tying my tube, because... Just
be careful, because in order to do that, you have to be on hormones a little bit, because you have to kind of, it sounds crazy, but you have to kind of dry them out. And, the facial hair, I got hair on my shoulders, and it took me by surprise. You know what I mean?
And I gotta be honest. I mean, I'll get like whatever. Like I can't use your preferred pronouns for you. And just like I said, like I like you. I think you're cool. Like I like what you say. I like how you speak and like the things that you advocate for. But like, and I'm not ever trying to be rude. And like none of us are ever trying to be rude or like hateful whenever we don't use preferred pronouns, just because we have to be consistent across the board. Like I don't use them for Chloe, even though I like Chloe Token. I don't use them for him. I don't use them for anyone because we have to be consistent.
Like I said, pronouns don't bother me. I grew up with the whispers of adults questioning my mum, like, is that a boy or a girl? What is that? What is that? I didn't like dresses. I climbed trees. As soon as puberty started, that's when my depression started. Because that's when I was like, oh my God, no, this is not right. But I was
tomboy as hell. Like, I was tomboy as hell.
Yeah, but you know what it is? Yeah, but look, the difference between me and you, I tried my hardest, and it got to me to the point where my trauma was all within myself. I didn't need someone to attack me. I was attacking myself. I didn't need anyone to bully me. I was bullying myself. And I took it to an extreme where 23 is do or die. What are you going to do, bro? I put myself on that line, on that edge, and I chose, okay, I'm going to try this life thing. Boom, I'm doing this. And it's
you tried to be... Oh, sorry.
I tried my hardest. I tried.
You tried to be like a masculine, like female or whatever, and it just or just like a masculine.
I tried to be like my sisters. I tried.
Can I ask, when did you start your transition?
At 23.
23?
Yeah.
How old are you now, by the way?
I'll be 40 next year.
Oh, dang.
I know. It's been a minute.
Or younger, I meant, sorry. Yeah, you look younger.
Yeah,
but this is the thing.
Women jeans are doing you good with your skin department. Get the
like, they always say black don't crack, and I'm like, but it swells. I'm fat. Like, I'm big. Like, I'm heavy, But no, like, seriously, I'm